Welcome back to another episode on Marriage in Marrying. Yes, the singles have cried out. I've seen a statement floating around and they are saying, UMJOLO is a pandemic. UMJOLO is just another pandemic. What that means is they're busy, that it translated, it means that the dating game is just like another pandemic, probably worse than COVID because things are not just okay in the dating game nowadays. But however, as much as it can be a pandemic or not, guys, there are things that I want to tell you never to compromise if you are dating, all in courtship. Now, stay tuned and listen to what we're about to unpack right here on Marriage in Marrying.
Full of trials, a journey full of experience. With God on your side, all will be alright.
Okay, so we need to understand. When you are dating, there are things that you can just let by, relax and just tolerate and entertain. But these things seem harmless. However, if you tolerate certain habits and if you tolerate certain things, it will then end up being much more than a pandemic when you get married. So we are going to talk. Number one, never compromise your religious beliefs. Your religious beliefs. If you know you are not going to be able to turn your religion or exchange your religion for something, when you are dating, just state it out to your partner and let them know that, listen, I'm Christian. The reason why it then will affect you later when you get married, because some certain couples end up fighting because, okay, you don't want to go to church the way I do, or the other one doesn't want to go to church, or is not Muslim, or you're not Seventh Day, or you're not Christian, and this and this and this. So when you're dating, just don't compromise that to settle in because you are now in a relationship. Okay. Number two, your vision. Do not compromise your vision. Do not let go of your own vision. Remember, before you meet someone, you're already complete. Meaning, God has already predestined you for a certain mandate. He has already commissioned you on a certain mission that is your purpose in life. Do not then go ahead and get into a relationship and then just abandon your own vision, just abandon the godly purpose that God has purposed in your heart because you're in a relationship. Some people end up getting too excited and then they start running with the vision of their partners. They start running with the vision and the mission of their partners, forgetting that themselves they are on a mission. Remember, when judgment day comes, nobody is gonna be asked in twos. You're going to stand by yourself and answer for yourself the things that you were supposed to do on earth. I don't think on judgment day they will be saying, Mr. and Mrs. so and so, come and answer to us. Why didn't she do this? Why didn't no. Nobody does that. So when you're still courting and dating, outline your vision. Already tell your partner, explain to your partner that, listen, I believe that I was called into ministry. So at some point, I'm going to be full-time in ministry because God has proposed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meaning, if ever that relationship is going to then transition to become marriage, you yourself and your partner, you are prepared enough. You already know that at some point, we need to make room for this gift. That means we have to adjust ourselves. We have a lot of people who have then went on to abandon their own vision because they got married. And that's normally because people fail to explain to themselves that, listen, this is what I want to do. This is what I want. They just end up settling with the husband's vision, and there's no room anymore for the lady to have time to chase the vision. Okay. Number 3, you do not have to compromise your love language. Love language, I mean. If you know that you are a person who loves to be loved in a certain way, State it out as you are courting and as you are dating. Don't let it slip by and let go. Let's say you're dating and your guy thinks that it is very romantic to buy you roses, and you're not a roses guy, a roses lady. You are, the takeout lady, or you are the lady that understands the gifts more, or you understand the touch more, or you understand quality time more. That's how you want to be loved. So as you're dating, you can actually see that, oh, my potential husband is pursuing me and trying to impress me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you don't like those things, don't compromise and settle. Just state it out and say, listen, my hubby. Of course, you say it nicely. You're not supposed to just be like, you do not know how to love. You're not romantic. Some men are just not romantic like that. To them, they think they have the A game. It's only after you teach them, it's only after you let them know that, listen, don't buy me this. I'm not that kind of a lady. I value quality time. I value you and me spending time together, watching movies, going out for parks. You need to explain that before, you get into courtship, before you get into marriage. So that even when you get into marriage, he makes room and is already improved. It's not like he's going to then start to understand your love language when you get married. It doesn't work like that. You actually save yourself a lot of transition drama by explaining to him and being able to just say to your partner, listen, I prefer things being done like this. Okay. The other thing, the fourth thing never to compromise is your plans and your goals. Your plans and your goals. Many people, before they got married, they had plans, they had goals, but the moment they got married, 10 years into the marriage, plans nowhere to be found, goals nowhere to be found. And it's like somebody is now starting to want to rediscover themselves. So when you're dating, do not then go ahead and compromise your own plans and your own goals, because now marriage is coming in. Marriage comes in to actually help you to achieve your own goals, to achieve your own plans. So do not settle. If you're in courtship and dating, be flexible enough to explain to your partner that, listen, yes, I understand you're going to be the head of the family, you're going to be the father of the house, my king, and all that. But I also have a plan. I also have goals. I want to be at this stage in 5 years to come. It's owed to him to help you get to that level. And it's also owed to you to help her to get to that level. Because when you then get married, you become together, you become one. You are helping each other to grow. You're actually helping each other to know, to reach the goals. And you become supporters of each other. You are the one rooting for your partner to say, go, 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 do this, do this, do this, do this. Okay. The fifth thing you should never compromise is standard. Okay, hold on. By standard, I don't mean standard like things like materialistic, because things can change anyhow, anytime. Standard, I mean, okay, let's replace that word with principles. Do not go ahead and compromise your principles. Okay, what do I mean by principles? If you know that you are a person that does not go out clubbing, and then you meet somebody who goes out clubbing, and because you see that this one is a potential guy that will actually take you into marriage, your UMJOLO game is going to be something that's like, oh yes, it's going to vibe until marriage. Do not then go ahead and compromise your own principles of saying you don't drink because this guy then drinks, and then you settle for that, and then you yourself, you start experimenting to drink to try and impress him. If ever that relationship is going to get into marriage, believe me, you will have tons and tons and tons of problems. Don't compromise your principles and your godly standards. Never ever compromise that, because it has repercussions when it gets into marriage. Remember, what you entertain now in courtship, it might not get better when you get married. It will actually become worse. Actually, 99% of the time, those things become worse in marriage, because in marriage, everyone is just exposed. Marriage will expose your weaknesses, believe me. Marriage will expose your strengths as well. So you don't need to compromise with your own principles, especially when you are now seriously dating. The other thing when it comes to standards, people, please normalize being honest to each other. If you know that you are not going to be able to settle for a housewife title and the job itself, like you are going to stop working, you are not going to get into your career, and you will stay at home. If you know you cannot settle for that, early on in your courtship, please do announce, please do stress that out, because a lot of people then go ahead and get married, and the husband expects that the wife's career is just gonna stop. You are not going to do anything, and everything is owed to me. I will be the one hustling for the money. I'll be the one going out. You are going to be at home taking care of the kids. And if you know that you cannot do that, you need some flexibility and all that, explain that earlier on in your courtship days, so that when you guys are making your plans, you make room for that kind of a situation. And also, be prepared enough to be flexible in such a way that if one of you guys end up losing an income, a source of income, you are able to support each other. You're able to support each other. So yeah, this is just a short video, and yes, there's a lot of things that you don't need to compromise, but I felt like I just need to come out here and say, well, my dear singles, as much as UMJOLO is a pandemic, as you guys say it, as much as it is a pandemic, there's 5 things you don't need to compromise at all. Do not compromise at all. Keep your godly standards and make sure that what you're doing is at the best interest of yourself, and it's aligned with God's purpose on your life. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please do press like and share, and also subscribe to our Hopeful Stories channel, as well as like and follow us on all social media handles, that is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and also Instagram. Yes, Hopeful Stories, Marriage in Marrying.